Dear students, from this module onwards, we are starting the computation, measures of central tendency or averages. And please remember that these computations we are using for further calculations. So this is very important. Now, first we will learn what is measures of central tendency. So important objectives of statistical analysis is to determine various numerical measures. See, for example, mean, median, mode, harmonic mean, geometric mean, all this. Some value we have to get an idea about the data. So these measures will describe the inherent characteristics of a frequency distribution. See, for example, median of 10 observations is 5. That meaning median will denote the middle value of the observation. So we will get some idea. So these measures are called the averages. So the average will describe the frequency distribution. Now the computed value will give a single numerical value, whether it's mean, mode or median. Anything, they will give one single value that we will get some idea about the other values. So this value will be representative of the entire distribution. So based on that, we are making certain assumptions about the distribution. So the computed value will give a single numerical value, 5, 6, 7, any value, or 6.6. So this value will be representative of the entire distribution. This is very important. That is why we are calling it as the measure of central tendency. So this one average what we are taking, that will, the value will be between the smallest value and the largest value. Thus, average will give an idea about the concentration of values in the central part of the distribution. See, we are calling this as the measure of central tendency. So the value at the center, that is what we are trying to find out. So thus averages are always referred to as measures of central tendency or measure of location. Now, what are the usefulness of averages? Why we are calculating averages? So describing the distribution in a concise manner. Mean of this distribution is this value, or median or mode. We will get some idea about that. When you learn the computation, you will get to know better. So comparative study of different distributions. Mean marks of students for different sections. So we can compare that. So then we can take appropriate action for improving the performance of the students. Third point is for further statistical computations, correlation, regression, skewness, we will be using mean value or median value for computation. Then what are the requisites of a good average? First is it should be well defined. When we will learn that, we will see that proper tabulation is there and proper formulas are there for the tabulation. So second point here to remember, it should be easy to understand and calculate even for a non-mathematical person. Even if a person is without mathematical knowledge, he should be able to use this technique and able to do the statistical computation. Then it should be based on all observations. You cannot leave the extreme values. Extreme values if you leave, you will not get the correct average. So all the values should be included. Now, calculated average must be capable of further statistical calculation. I told you we are using these averages for further computations, correlation, regression, skewness, all that. So average should not be affected by fluctuations of sampling. So sampling, we have learned that some inherent limitations are there. That should not affect the computation of or the computed value of average. Next is it should not be affected by extreme observations. Marks of students in a class. Some students will be getting 100 out of 100, but there will be students who are getting 20 also. So it should not be affected by extreme observations and all the values should be considered. Then we will get a proper average. Now, what are the various measures of central tendency? First one is arithmetic mean, or we are calling it as mean. Second is median, third is mode, geometric mean, and fifth is harmonic mean. Now, what are the limitations of an average? If it has got usefulness, it has got limitations also. So the first point is average represents a value that lies between the larger and smallest value. So average value may not be uniform throughout. Average marks of students for statistics in a class is 60. That meaning there are some students who got 100 out of 100. There are some students who got 20. There are some students who got 40. So all these marks are possible. So the value, always we have to remember that it will be the value between the larger value and the smallest value. Second point is average has to be properly interpreted. Otherwise we may jump into wrong conclusions. When you're getting the average marks of students, so then we have to remember that there are students who are getting distinction. There are students who are getting first class, pass percentage or failed students. So we have to make the proper interpretation. Third point is an average may give us a value that does not exist in the data. See, for example, if you take in values 100, 300, 250, 50 and 100, total is 800. So 800 divided by 5, you are getting 160. But the value 160 is not there in the observation. So this is another limitation. We may get an average which is not there in the distribution. Next point is average will give unrealistic value. For example, if you're taking average number of members in a family or in the household, if you're getting a value 4.8, you know that human beings cannot be in fractions. It can be only exact values are possible. So this is another limitation. Seventh point is measures of central tendency cannot give any idea about the formation of the series. If you compare two series, I have given series A and series B. The values are different, 250, 270, 290, 310, 280. Total is 1400. Series B 400, 500, 120, 178, 202. Total is 1400. Both the series they got 5 observations. So if you are saying average is 280, but there is lot of difference between series A and series B. So that is the last limitation. Both the series may have the same average, but they differ widely in the composition of the series. So this is what I want to explain in this module. Thank you.